And we're back with another episode of What's Hockey. It is the conference championships right now, and ooh, my Dallas Stars are not doing well. We're gonna go ahead
Pretty
and recap
trash.
that. Yeah, we're gonna get into that in just a moment. But Keaton, we're gonna go around the hockey. What's been happening?
A few things have happened over the course of the week or so. Matthew Darche, I believe is his name, has been named as the new Islanders GM. Huge to come in fresh to a franchise and already have that first pick. So pretty nice for that guy. He was an assistant GM with Tampa and a part of the Stanley Cup championship of 20 and 21. So we'll see what the Islanders can do. Who knows?
It is a perk to have that first pick in the draft coming into
Pretty
that
nice.
position as a GM, but he has so much work to do to turn around the Islanders. Like, they don't have any.
Oh no, they're not that bad. I mean, they squeaked into the playoffs last year, and they could have potentially made it this year if they weren't so trash. But
they traded
have
away
decent,
their best players as well.
Their best players. Boy, Brock Nelson was trash.
He's their best. He was easily their best player.
He did nothing. He's old as hell. He needs to retire already.
You know what? He played solid in the playoffs against the Stars, actually.
He was useless.
We'll see what he does in New York.
Yeah, good old Staten Island. But anyway, we've got Brendan Shanahan. He's been let go from the Maple Leafs. Get out of there. I think he's been in there for 11 seasons, and it definitely makes sense after 9 years of nothing. The president, I believe, no, CEO, maybe is the president, both CEO, president, whatever their title. They were saying a clear statement. They want to make the cup. They do not, or rather win the cup. They don't want to just make the playoffs. So pretty definite move by them. So hopefully they can just actually win it. And it's been quite the drought. Obviously, a lot of their fans have been waiting. Some have been dead waiting. So yeah.
I'd like the streak of Canadian teams. Or I'm sorry, the drought of Canadian teams not winning Stanley Cups to continue. I don't know if Brendan Shanahan's going to impact the Maple Leafs that strongly. But to be fair, I mean, this guy who's used to winning he left Toronto to then go to, or he was fired, right?
He was let go, yeah. He's like, fuck you.
Yeah, that's right. My bad. Toronto. It's not even that early. I'm just making up excuses. Toronto's been a disappointment as far as, I think a few episodes ago, I may have made a comparison to like the Cowboys where you can make it to the playoffs consistently, but getting deep into the playoffs is
honestly, they took the Panthers to 7 games. A lot more than any other team so far. They weren't all that bad. They just happened to play against the Panthers, and it was just unfortunate because, they've just manhandled the Hurricanes currently. Granted, last game they did lose, but, they probably just wanted to win it in 5 anyway. But, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. They've already got a solid car. We'll see what happens with Mitch Marner. And other restricted free agents that might be on the team. We definitely got another hiring with Jeff Blashill being named the new Blackhawks head coach, replacing the interim Anders Sorensen. So we'll see what he does. Has quite the roster to deal with. So, he's got Bedard, but that's kind of it, I guess. They did get a few draft picks over the trade deadline with shipping out Seth Jones, and I can't remember, but I'm sure a few other players. But, we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, and before we move on real quick, he's got a tie to your team as well. He was the head coach for the Red Wings for a little bit. His contract was not renewed when it was time, or when it was expired.
It was like 16 to 19 or something like that?
It was, I have it right here. Named the head coach on June 9, 2015, and They had him until 2022, I believe.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's what I was
like
thinking. Then we
season
had
to
old
21, basically.
Penguin Grew looking motherfucker for 3 years or
Ugh.
2.5, whatever it was. But yeah. And with him taking the helm, I mean, we didn't make the playoffs after that first year, if I'm not mistaken, for his tenure. So we'll see what happens with Chicago.
After that first year, actually, which was that a shortened season? Oh no, obviously overtime is figured into those win-loss records. But yeah, they did not have the most wins after their first season was 33 in that second season, and a bunch of 32s after that. So yeah, just a disappointing tenure. We'll see what he can do this go round.
At least with the Red Wings for him. But I don't know. I don't know what else he's done. Who knows?
Well,
he probably coached a Pee Wee league and did really well at one point.
Yeah, and I mean, look, his resume isn't too great, and then you pair that with the roster that Chicago has. All right, man. We'll see.
He's got a job. More than most people.
Yes, that's fair. That is fair. Keaton, was there some more around that hockey, or would you like to jump straight into them playoffs?
I don't think so. There might have been something, but I've just been off the heartbeat. So, yeah, I mean, as far as the playoffs are concerned, we could just jump right into that. Like you mentioned, the Stars have been quite abysmal, have no offensive spark whatsoever. The Edmonton Oilers, honestly, they seem like a magical team for whatever reason, because it seems like the Stars have been dominating in shots on goal, face-off, wins, offensive time, all this stuff, at least in the first period especially. But they seem to get that one goal and continue. And, I mean, like I said, the Stars just put up a bunch of shots on goal and just doesn't seem to get into the net. And for whatever reason, Stuart Skinner is just playing really well. That's kind of what his MO has been. It's just been playing even better as the playoffs continue. And I don't get it, man. Quite the B tier, if not C tier goalie in general, but he's playing pretty well.
You know what? And I'll also give credit to the defense and the forwards of the Oilers. Whenever we're on the attacking end, I mean, we are getting shots on goal, but they're not the most quality chances, and I think that's due somewhat of our own tactics, but also Edmonton themselves aren't giving is that sounds dumb, but they're getting really in the way of certain passing lanes. They're very stuffy. They limit the quality chances you're able to get. And then on the other end, we're dominating them in shots on goal, but when I'm talking about that quality, Edmonton has it. Like their attacks are just so deadly precise. And
they're easy to get like a easy rebound, and then there you go, McDavid's off on a run because he can go like 98 miles an hour for whatever reason, and then just skate past anybody, making Thomas Harley and Heiskanen look like just anybody really. So it is pretty annoying to kind of have that ability to do so, or at least face that ability to do so. But yeah, remarkable. I don't know, man.
It's ridiculous when you watch him too, because how good he is. Even if you don't watch hockey or you've heard of the name Connor McDavid, okay, that guy is a star. He's going to do something. He's going to play at a higher level than everyone else. This guy doesn't play like a human being. He plays like a fucking alien. He's just flying on the ice. He's impossible to get in the way of. I forgot.
It's like 0 to 60.
Yeah, I think it was Jake Ottinger talking. Maybe it was Duchesne, but they were talking about, damn it, was it Otter? They were talking about McDavid and what it takes to stop him or whatever. And essentially they were saying you can't ever shut him down. The only thing you can do is try to take away his best option. That's all you can do. But between him,
I think it might have been Otter that said something when it's all said and done, he's probably going to be the best hockey player ever. So, I mean, we'll see if anybody grows up. I think Gavin McKenna's pretty solid, at least for now, but see what happens when he hits the pros. But, he's just on another level than anyone else.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
And then you have Draisaitl, who's an excellent player anyway.
Led the damn league in goals, right?
Pedestal, but yeah, he's great.
Fantastic. Yeah, what a sharp decline. We fell from the greatest player to the guy who led the league in goals. That is a steep decline, right? And then you also have Nugent Hopkins every single game.
Nugent Hopkins, and then you got the
every game with
bomb.
multiple points. And then fuck Bouchard. He's a little bitch. Yeah, man. And the Stars themselves, like
Oilers suck. But
coming into the series though, I remember mentioning the special teams units and how I was bragging about the Stars penalty kill. Well, Edmonton is scoring almost on every power play. It's brutal. And then on the other hand, our power plays, that's the only place we can score right now. We're not as crisp as we were against Winnipeg or Colorado on the power play. But I mean, that's
0-5 on 5 goals.
Dude, it's brutal. And I know we're changing up lines, and there are times in the game we're dominating puck possession, and it looks like, okay, we've got our lines correct, but we cannot get it in the back of the net. We can't get it past Stuart Skinner. And I mean, it's incredibly frustrating. For a lot of the series, our fourth line seems to be the most consistent as far as rushing onto the net rather than playing kind of on the perimeter. But this last game, they did nothing as well. And I mean, you can't rely, or you should not rely on your fourth line to be your leaders in the conference finals. You should have forwards that can get it done. And I think like one thing that bugs me about Mikko Rantanen a little bit is inconsistency too, because there are times where he's absolutely the best player on the planet. And then I don't think I've seen him.
I mean, right before he went on that, 3 to 4 game streak of 9 goals or whatever it was, but like right before that he did nothing. He wasn't doing anything. He wasn't really contributing. I mean, he played well, but he wasn't really plussing. He was a minus on the ice, and then after that, I mean, he hasn't really done anything either. So I mean, it's just hot or cold, and it's pretty frustrating.
I think sometimes he's too reliant on the people around. Like, he's a very good passer, and so I think he tries to play quarterback rather than like actually go out and get the goal himself at times. I think when we saw him go on those hat trick runs, he was being more aggressive, and I want to see that, because I mean, like, Robertson did get a goal this last game, and I think he technically got a tip-in goal when I thought Bischel shot in. I think it touched.
Yeah, he didn't even know when they asked him about it, and he was like, "Wait, what?" And he was kind of probably disappointed just because he didn't really think he deserved that as a goal, I guess. But
yeah, and we've seen Rantanen assist. Granlund's had moments, but the other forwards on our team that are not named Mikko Rantanen, they're not.
I mean, Tyler Sagan's been playing all right, but other than that, I mean, there's been nobody.
Yeah, and the thing
Duchesne Marchman's been useless. I don't know.
I'm just trying to emphasize,
during the regular season, it's just been depth, but the depth has not shown up. I mean, I guess the fourth line. But,
and you can't wait around for your depth to show up. Like, you need to play now. Like, you can't try to get people warm or hot. I need a goal, man. Like, we need to score now. And then I think, Miro has helped us with both the offensive and defensive side. I've loved to see that. I feel like Thomas Harley needs to be a bigger role in the offense as well, because what he was doing prior to Miro's return, and I know he did get a goal a few games ago, but his output offensively is nowhere near to the level that it was in the past. I think that's hurt us, and Jamie Benn has been a disaster with his penalties, like just constantly. The first goal this last night was off a Jamie Benn penalty. And that basically screwed us for the entirety of the game. I mean, you and I were talking about, we dominated possession in that first period. We dominated shots on goal. Jamie Benn gets a trip, I believe it was a trip, and then Draisaitl scores a goal. And I mean, it completely changed the way the game was going, or the way the game ended up going, actually. So yeah, Jamie's been a nightmare. He's been a disaster.
I think that second power play is more the definite, or at least by the Oilers. Because, I mean, it was 3 power play goals in a row. It was Draisaitl, then Robertson, then someone else. But I think that one was the more definite one, just because it was just more of a complete, I don't know, just gut punch, I guess.
Last night's game, Robertson got the power play goal, but we didn't score another goal after that. It was
right.
It was Corey Perry.
I know, that's what I was saying, is Edmonton.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misheard.
That was it wasn't Perry. The Draisaitl goal, it was the Corey Perry goal. Yeah. That was more of the gut punch than the first goal. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, whenever that happened, I mean, there wasn't really anything that was going for the Stars after that. And I saw, or rather heard, a stat that the Stars in the third period, they've put up like 7 shots on goal at the past 2 games.
Dude,
and you can't do that, especially with you being down and needing to do something. And you can't really do much out of 7 shots on goal out of 2 games.
Oh, dude. Okay, so in the third period, their Edmonton's first empty netter, what minute was that? 17:33. Okay, so we take Ottinger off for that puck drop. Why? For that face-off. Why are we doing – like, I know we want the man advantage. Why don't we just wait until we control possession and then have Ottinger go off? Because, I mean, genuinely, they won the draw – and then immediately shoot at net, and it's a goal. Now we're down by 2 with 3 minutes to go. We are already struggling offensively, and we've now essentially put it out of reach. We have no chance. Why not just have Ottinger be in the net, let us get possession back, and then take him off? Yeah, sure, it could cost us a man advantage for
ultimately
40
when it
seconds,
comes down to that.
But you're not down.
It could be a lot longer, though, because there wasn't really anything happening. So, I mean, I
44
understand in a way. I mean, sure, but yeah, you're already down a goal and you need to contribute, and you're not doing anything the entire third period. You need something to happen.
Oh, well, okay, I got you. But if there's a 50% chance that you attempting this also results in you going down 2 goals,
I mean, you were dominating faceoff wins the entire game, and it just came down to that last one.
Okay, but you can't just assume we've won every faceoff either. I mean, you have to.
I know, but I mean, what else could you do? You're already down. You're already going to lose. What else are you going to do? You need something to happen.
Seconds.
Bro, you already said 40 seconds. Now you're reducing it to 20. Come on, man.
Well, okay, leave it.
It's probably even longer than that. They probably could have dominated possession and just kept it in the Stars' D zone the entire time. You don't know that. And that's why they try to do something.
The reason Ottinger wasn't even on the ice was because we had already pulled him, because in those last, 4 minutes, we started to gain possession back and somewhat, I don't want to say control because it's nowhere near like the first
Nothing
game,
really
but it wasn't
happened,
also, I know we'd only pulled him out for 20 seconds, but then, or 10 seconds, and then we have that face off. I think it was almost too aggressive. I think you can get possession. And I actually said 40 seconds earlier because I didn't think it would take 40, but I was like, at worst, it's 40 seconds so you get the puck back. You still have a minute of man advantage.
Dude. You don't know.
Well, instead, it's 3 seconds later and you're down 2 goals. So I don't think it's...
you're already down.
Pete was a little aggressive, a little too aggressive there, but, I mean, can I blame him?
You just don't like your coach having balls.
Dude, it's funny because I was thinking about this. You've heard that stat where it's like, oh, Pete DeBoer's been in the conference championship with his last 3 teams and been fired 3 times or whatever like that.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of starting to see why. I can see why Pete gets run out even though he has so much success. Because, like, why is... I don't even want to see Jamie Benn on the ice. I feel like he's getting too much ice time. And then I don't understand just why not waiting a second, but
he's just playing the goon role, and it's really kind of dumb, honestly, because
he's being an idiot.
Yeah,
he's just out there to give us
causing frustration, even though like there's really not much frustration to give to the Oilers because they have a cool and collected mindset the entire time. So yeah, don't understand it. I think Rudy might be having some technical difficulties. I don't know, man, but you're black. Screen black. Black screen. But, yeah. Pretty crazy stuff. We could probably try to move on to the other series. And some technical difficulties, but we're back with the Florida Carolina series. Quite the dominant series as well. Just didn't see that win from Carolina until recently. But yeah, 3 in a row, and you can't tell Carolina they're going to lose 16 in a row. Eastern Conference final games. So they won that. They won that 16th game in a row. So can't tell them. Can't tell them that. So pretty solid. But
yeah, hey, former Dallas star Logan Stankoven, the difference maker in the last game, gives Carolina their only lead of the entire series, and will likely be the only one they will have. I'm assuming.
Potentially.
I'm assuming.
I did see something. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. No, you go ahead. Go.
I was just going to say I saw something where Paul Maurice was asked about how Bobrovsky played in that game, and he was like, man, those last 2 goals were bullshit, and they were empty netters, so it's kind of funny. Yeah. But, honestly, I think Carolina needed that, but I don't think they're going to win this series. It's pretty hard to climb out at 3-1. So they could potentially make a 5th game. They are in Raleigh the next game, so they're home. So who knows? But I just expect the Panthers to be just that much more dominant, just as the Oilers have been against the Stars. I just don't get it. As far as, winning games, not necessarily dominating the actual play. Because honestly, it's a lot closer in the other game than the Florida, or series rather, than Carolina, Florida. So, yeah, just seems to drop off physically when it comes to looking at Carolina's play, except for probably the last game. But probably with Simon Reinhart, and I think they were. Excuse me. I saw something that people were saying that they weren't resting players, but they were out. I mean, they probably had something wrong with them anyway, but I think Greer, Mikkola, and Sam Reinhart were out. So, I mean, that could definitely be some sense of a lack of spark offensively, especially with Reinhart being out, because, he's pretty solid offensively. So, just kind of a interesting game, at least for the Florida Panthers. But I mean, honestly, it wasn't really that bad because it was 1-0 up until the last moment. So, pretty interesting series, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you pointed that out, that even though Carolina kind of held Florida to their worst game of the series, and you did mention, some players that were out, which also I don't think that they were being arrested. I mean, if you win the series, you get a rest for a full week instead of just like 2 days. But they probably weren't capable of playing, is what I'm saying.
No, I know Sam Reinhart was definitely dealing with something, and most likely it's better to arrest him than not. So I mean, it's kind of a bit of both, probably, just to be on the safe side, to make sure that they won't re-injure anything or just be stupid with how they play.
Yeah, that's fair. But I'm glad you mentioned that up until the empty net goals, it was still a tight game. Because I mean, look, Stankoven's goal comes at the halfway point of the game.
Because I think it was 0-0 up until the second period. But yeah,
it was. And while Carolina did get more shots on goal, and they won, more they had a better face-off percentage.
They kind of dominated in that game.
They had less penalty minutes as well. I do still think Florida is just so much more physically dominant. I think their talent pool is just deeper and stronger than what Carolina can put on the ice. Credits to Carolina, sure. Absolutely credits to them for this past game. And I mean, honestly, man, Florida's just ridiculous. I can't fault. Is it Rod Brindamore, the head coach of Carolina?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was under Paul Maurice, so it's kind of funny. I think Paul Maurice coached Brindamore at one point or something like that. Or they were like coaches and assistant coaches together or something like that. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, there's a lot of what Brindamore has, or rather coaches, that kind of mimics, or rather mirrors what Paul Maurice does with his team, because they're pretty physical, but it's just a completely different thing when you're going up against what you're trying to mimic. So yeah, pretty interesting, but I expect Florida to close it out in the game 5, but
yeah, I would expect
they could probably win that extra game, but they're definitely not winning the series. So,
and that next game is going to be in Florida as well. So, or
I thought it was in Carolina.
Is it Carolina? I'm sorry.
Because it's game 5, and they had a better record than the Panthers. The Panthers almost went to the wild card slot because they were losing games at the end of the regular season.
It's in Florida.
But they were also resting a bunch of players / people were injured.
Okay. Yeah, the game's in Florida. They should close.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But I mean, even if it wasn't, I would still expect them to close that out. I
just thought that
what the hell?
it was
I read that totally wrong. What is happening?
Carolina.
Okay, yeah. NHL website is like totally backwards on this. Yeah, it's in Carolina. My fault, dude.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, man.
Pretty good, dude.
I'm killing it.
That's what I thought.
I'm pretty good at this stuff.
Old gaslighting ass.
But
anyway. Yeah, I expect them to close it out regardless, but pretty interesting.
I really did not
awkward to flip back.
Yeah.
But I did notice that Hyman was out and will most likely be out for the rest of the playoffs. I just saw will have surgery, so kind of a tough loss for the Oilers. I was kind of excited when I saw that he got injured, just for the fact that the Stars might have an advantage. But yeah, sucks, and he'll be missed in Edmonton, probably solely in Edmonton. But
I'm glad you brought that up.
He'll be missed.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I totally left it out when we were talking about them. That is a pretty big loss for Edmonton. Now, I do think they're still so goddamn deep.
Because he was in the top line, and he was paired with McDavid and Nugent-Hopkins, so he was just always going to be that guy that just zooms into the net and just kind of chips the puck into the net. As that's just his MO. But pretty tough loss to have a lack of that. I think Corey Perry honestly plays that role okay enough. So honestly, it's just kind of a unfortunate turn of events as far as depth is concerned for the Stars. But still a tough loss for the Oilers, and we'll see if they can tough it out.
Yeah. Yep.
But it'll be interesting, especially for the Stanley Cup, because it'll most likely be a rematch from last year. So we'll see how potentially Florida's, plan for the Edmonton Oilers the next go around. I did see some stat or something where there have been, I think, 3, or rather, this would be the 3rd back-to-back matchup for the Stanley Cup face-off, and each time the one that lost the first time won the second time. So who knows? We'll see what happens. We'll see if Edmonton finally breaks that Canada curse. Hopefully not.
Canada curse. Yeah, we will see. Keaton, you ready to make some picks?
Yeah, we'll see. Right. We'll see who wins.
So last week we had the exact same picks. We went 2-0, and that might happen this week. Dude. We will see. We will start with the Panthers traveling to Carolina, taking on the Hurricanes, where the Hurricanes are a +1.5 at home. Who you got there?
I think the Panthers are just going to shut it out. They are going to cover that -1.5 and take it home.
Yeah. I have to agree. I don't even know the point of picking opposite of you just to pick it. Like, I can't catch up, but yeah, I think Florida.
I mean, you can do it just to do it because that's what you believe in.
That is true, but I don't believe in Carolina like that. So, Florida for me. And the Stars will be hosting the Edmonton Oilers in Dallas, where they are -1.5 at home. Who do you got there?
What? Oh, that's quite the spread. I'm going to have to take the Oilers for that spread. But honestly, I feel like the Stars might win this game just to push it to 6.
Yeah, I'm taking the Stars to win by 1 and not cover Edmonton's plus 1.5. So I'll take Edmonton in the spreads.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why I phrased it that way. Keaton, we also do
jumbled up mess.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. We also do some prize picks. And last week, my play failed because I suck, clearly. I've had an awful run lately. I was on a good streak, but it's just been poor. But we're going to turn it around today. We're going to go with Frederick Anderson, under 22.5 saves. Man hasn't covered that a single time in his last 5 games. We're going to go with Jacob Slavin to get over 0.5 shots on goal, and then Matthew Tkachuk to get over 0.5 points. Let's get some redemption going. Hopefully they come through.
Yeah, well, unfortunate news. My 3-week streak hit a abrupt end in the 4th week. So unfortunately, my prize picks did not come through. But this week will be different. I've got Jordan Stahl for more than 5 hits. Quite the line, but I think he's going to cover. And I think Dmitry Kulikov will also cover the 3.5 lines. So we're going to get more than 5 hits from each of them, I honestly think. So it's just going to be a big physical game, and they're big physical players. So.
All right, big and physical. We will see if they come through. I believe that will wrap up this episode. Or Keaton, am I forgetting anything?
That should. I don't believe so. That should be it.
All right. Well, y'all take it easy. Peace.